They're under the blankets, and she's on top.
Let me go find this white person, cause y'all ain't helping me.
It smelled like, it was like a lot of sex, like, you can tell. Please don't let me know traffic, just get me home, just get me home.
What?
I'm your driver, Stacia, and this is not a boring ride. It's more than just getting people from point A to point B. No, this is entertainment that will leave your flabbergasted. So, if you're getting in my car, come with a story.
So, I work at City Hall, and we deal with all the permits that come through the city. So we had one black lady, an older black lady, come up there, and she was asking, she told me she was a contractor for this project, and she was trying to get information for the plumber or whatever. And then I didn't have much information to give her, so I brought in my coworker. My coworker is getting the story. She tells my coworker that she's the homeowner. Sorry, okay, story's starting to flip a little bit.
Okay.
So then we're like telling her the answer, what she gotta do, and then it clicks to me. I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta do this and that and whatever. So she's like, well, I've been coming here for 30 years or whatever, and it's never been this route, but it doesn't make sense. So we get a supervisor involved. Supervisor confirms everything that we've been saying. You always know customer service is just a mess. So this black older lady, she says, I don't understand why we, as far as black people, can't always help each other out when it comes to stuff like this. I'm like, why you got a little race car? Like, whatever. So she says, you know what?
Let me go find this white person, cause y'all ain't helping me.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, really? Like, are you racist towards us? Like, what's up? Should we not love one another? People are crazy when it comes to customer service. They like to have it their way.
Yeah.
When they don't get their way, they have a whole fit.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now, right? We know our job. We know what we're doing. But yeah, you want to complain and do the absolute most.
Uber drivers, the females?
Yeah, so with the young lady, she was real ghetto, and it was crazy because when I came in, number one, it smelled like, it was like a lot of sex, like, you can tell.
Oh.
Yeah, you can tell. So that was like, oh man. Then secondly, she's on the phone talking to her homegirl, talking about the episodes on what she did recently within the last couple of hours in the car.
What?
And also too, like from coming from the club like last week, and like, man, girl, you know, we gotta do that again. There was some niggas up in there, there was some ballers, and and I mean, just like really stuff that was inappropriate, and I had to deal with that the whole entire time because it took me about a half an hour. I was coming from Stone Mountain, by the way, and it took us about half an hour, 35 minutes, and all the while I was just saying,
Lord, just get me home. Just get me home. Just get me home. Please don't let me no traffic. Please don't let me no traffic. Just get me home. Just get me home.
And I even have my headphones because I left my headphones at home. So I was like, oh man. Let me tell you something.
Thank you for watching the video this far. Please like the video, share with someone who you think may like this type of content, and leave a comment. It really does help out the channel. It helps the channel grow. So let's get back to it.
By the time that we got there, she dropped me off safe, but she was speeding. Ooh, man, she was speeding. I was like, man, yeah. I gave her 0 stars. And I'm not that kind of person, but I was like, you know what? That was just ridiculous, man. And I said, wow.
The fact that it smelled like sex, and then she talking about what she did in the car.
On what she did, I'm looking at her like, well,
that's crazy.
Look, sweetheart, I don't care what you do, but I don't want to hear all that.
So I'm walking about as I get my hair cut through downtown, and I go to an area that's very popular for tourists because there's a river that splits the city in half, and it's under a bridge. And so I'm walking towards this area, and lo and behold, there's a couple, if I may say explicitly, fucking.
Really?
right there. They're just going at it. Like they're under the blankets, and and she's on top, and all I want to do is watch a river. So I mind my own business, and everyone else there minded their own business. As much as it was, I won't say morbid or tragic or anything like that, but I think it was pretty peaceful. And it's like, wow, people just making love. They can make love and peace, and they kept themselves covered. They didn't expose themselves, but you knew what was going on, and everyone just minded their own business.
Wow, and that was a video going around a couple of weeks ago of a couple doing the same thing in the park of New York, one of the parks in New York.
Oh, I bet.
Under the covers and everything, and somebody was just recording them like they are actually having sex right now in public.
You have 5 boroughs over there, so you're bound to get a lot of public intimacy, I would imagine. If it's happening in a small place like Spokane, Washington, I imagine it's a regular occurrence in New York City. That's home with sex in the city, so it's just, it goes hand in hand.
So this actually happened in 2018. I was ending a relationship, but I didn't actually say the words that I was leaving. This guy was, I don't know, he was pretty different to begin with. I found out that he lied about his age. There was a lot of just weird stuff that had went on. So I was on Rainbow Drive in Candler when the incident occurred. He asked to get dropped off at the barber shop, but then asked me for $20 for the haircut, and I was like, no. That was like too much. So I was getting in my car to leave after he got out of the car, and he comes. First, he wouldn't let me get my keys. That was one thing. So I finally did get my keys, and then I was getting in my car to leave, and he jumps in the passenger seat of the car. And at the time I had an older Ford where the middle is one whole seat. So he jumps from the passenger seat into the driver's seat, and half of my body was out the car and half of my body was in the car. And we started my car up and just swung it into reverse and drove really fast speed out of the parking lot onto the main road and an immediate left into a tree.
Wow.
And from that I suffered a broken acetabulum, which is my hip. It was broken in half. I was in the hospital for